Hello and welcome back to Frequency Intuitive. Today we are asking your spirit team for the exact message that you need to hear right now for whatever it is you're going through at this current moment in time when you find this reading. So we have four piles today. So group one is this elephant card and the jade crystal. Group two is this peacock card and the rose quartz sphere. Group three is this horse card with the desert rose crystal. And group four is the whale card with the blue lace agate. All right, so take your time, tune into the energy of each group, and when you are ready, I will see you in your reading. Hello, beautiful ancient souls in group one. You chose this elephant card, and it says wisdom from past experiences is supporting you right now, as well as that jade crystal. Now, I did hear right when I sat down to film your group the phrase past karma. So if that means something to you, that could be for you, but we will get way more information. First, I just want to start with a couple indicator cards here for kind of an overall feeling of the theme of your reading. Spirit teams for group one, please show us exactly what group ones most need to know right now. What are they meant to hear today that will illuminate their path? Shadow. Okay, so you got this bat here with the shadow card. And it's funny that I said illuminate their path right at that exact moment. So I wonder if there's something that you feel is unclear or unseen, or some shadow element or some shadow within yourself that needs to be explored here. And we're going to get one of these, and then we're going to get your tarot. For group one, please show us the overall theme that they need to know right now. Again, I heard illuminate their path again. And I heard past karma. I don't really speak much in terms of karma, so that must be you coming through here. I feel like this is a little bit much. Can we narrow that down? These cards are very in-depth as it is, and there was four there. There it is. The library, okay. As there's an owl illuminating this with a light here. This is card 6. Okay. So, yeah, let's put these here. Now, let's dive in. Oh, they do want one more of those. We can do one more. See, they really want to get a lot. They took 3 more again. Can we just get one more from this deck? Have you been asking for a lot of support or guidance about this? Because there's a lot of information. Card 32, the wolf. Okay, so that's the strongest energy coming out here. So let's get your tarot, and then we'll get into these other cards here that we drew. Show us. Okay, 10 of Wands coming out. Okay. And the Death card. Okay, so something's being released here. Let's put those in your past position, they're saying. And something's feeling exhausting, or like an obligation, or like a burden, or like a responsibility. Maybe it's coming to an end because you have the Death card, which is transformation, rebirth. So that possibly that 10 of Wands is really going to be showing up in its 10 energy and completing soon. Something that you're just like exhausted. It's felt burdensome. It's felt like a responsibility or an obligation, or something that you've just had to deal with or put your head down and figure out and get on with. Okay, show us for group 1. Oh, if you're not looking at the screen, that would be a good time because I see the 10 of Cups. You got 2 10s here. So that's alignment, mirroring, showing up here, and you got the moon. Exactly what we've been saying. Something's in the shadows. You got the shadow card. You got the illuminate, something to be illuminated here, tuning into your intuition, your emotions. All right, let's get into this here. And something's going to be very favorable turning out here. Very happy. Look, there's 2 unicorns. There's 2 smaller unicorns. There's 4 unicorns celebrating. All 10 cups. It's really interesting that you got the 10 of wands right into the 10 of cups. It's like something that's become completely burdensome or exhausting or overwhelming. The reward is there in the exact amount that you suffered with it or felt burdened by it. It shows up in fullness, in satisfaction, in fulfillment, because the way that we know that that's occurring is you have the death card. You have this indication here from spirit that is ending. Something is ending and there is a new beginning. Look at the sun rising over the horizon here. The 10 of Wands came out with the death card. That burden is over. That emotional heaviness, that struggle, that exhaustion, that feeling like, I don't know how much longer I can do this. I just got to keep going, but it just seems like it's never ending. It's ending. It's releasing, and a new beginning is coming. So if this is resonating for your situation, then you're in the right place. Now, there might be a period of uncertainty or of withdrawing or going within with the moon, of reconnecting with your intuition, of realigning with that part of yourself that doesn't feel exhausted, that never feels worn out, that is constantly being replenished with your inner world, with that connection with your intuition, with your spirit team, with source. It could be a period of things kind of settling, just like at night, things settle down, things are processed, and then a new day begins. So there could be a period, a transition point where you feel like there's a little bit of darkness, there's a little bit of shadow, because you do have the shadow card, there's a little bit of things unclear until it moves into this 10 of Cups energy. Now I think it's a good time for us to read your library and your wolf cards to find out what's this energy here that's kind of surrounding your reading. Moment of beliefs is the library. You become who you think you are. So this says, if you've pulled this card, you've reached a burning library, and what may seem like destruction is instead a blessing. Holy cow, that is so 10 of Wands to 10 of Cups. Chaos is the door to transformation. You can take this chance to free yourself from the heavy baggage. It literally says that. Wow, my whole face just got chills and hot with like 10 of Wands could be called heavy baggage. Take this chance to free yourself from the heavy baggage of these limiting beliefs you have about yourself. Perhaps at some point those beliefs were the voices of other people, but you must recognize now how that voice comes from you and follows you everywhere. There is no place where you can run from yourself. Shadows. Wow, that's so the shadows card. So this is your chance. Declutter your spirit of these negative beliefs that are chasing you like ghosts, and instead set your intention to build new statements about yourself that are rooted in love and truth. Oh, wow. I could cry for you guys. The relief that I feel emotionally, the healing energy pouring through your reading. It's like angelic rays of support and transformation are surrounding this energy here and supporting you through this. It's absolutely humbling and beautiful, and it's making me want to cry in a lovely way. Wow, okay. This says words and thoughts are powerful and they create a prosperous life or a prison for your heart. You'll see how the journey will become lighter, illuminated, as you shed these layers of yourself. To start working on this change, try journaling. Writing can be an incredible tool to help you uncover and then change these beliefs. If you're in balance with this energy, you're thinking highly of yourself, you're feeling confident, and you're a master of your thoughts. If you're out of balance with this energy, you might be feeling arrogant, lacking confidence, setting yourself up for failure, feeling unsure of who you are, or acting defensive. Wow, okay. So, oh, I just opened right up to the wolf. See, do you see that? Look at the transition that you guys are making energetically and how seamless it is. I went right from your first card into your second card. You're going right from the Ten of Wands into the Ten of Cups. There's some fast moving transformation with this Death card, fast moving, reformative, transformational energy that is, you're right, you've got your finger on the pulse of it. If you found this reading, that's what your guides are called you here. They're saying, listen, there's something in your life that if you make a small adjustment with your internal dialogue, rewrite these beliefs, repattern some things, create new neural pathways, it will transform this situation from burdensome and heavy into everything that you've ever wanted. It will transform your life, this journey that you're on, into a sense of fulfillment and happiness and joy. Like Ten of Cups is one of the, if not the most, one of the most positive, auspicious, magical cards in the deck. And you just pulled that. But you may not be feeling in that energy right now. So that's why you found this reading. Now, the wolf is the spirit of independence. And it says you can rely on the person you have become. Where do we go now? Your heart asks. And only you can know. Only you hold the compass of your life and know where your heart wants to be. And it's time to make it happen. The spirit of the white wolf wants to remind you, you are free. Choose whatever path you want to follow. If this is the life you want, then choose it. If this is not the road you want, then change it. You're not a victim of your own life. You are the writer of your fate. When you hear the calling of your heart, firmly reply, I can rely on the person I have become. And make this promise to yourself. No matter what happens or who comes or goes from your life, you will not abandon your heart. Learning to rely on yourself will allow you to break unhealthy attachments and start forming relationships based on love rather than necessity. If you're in balance with this, you're believing in yourself, you're building healthy attachments, you're following your heart, and you're being independent. If you're out of balance with this, you're struggling with being independent, you might have unhealthy attachments or projecting your problems onto others, you might be acting immature. Okay, so this is about a point in your life where you're taking stock and you're saying, am I happy and am I satisfied with this path that I'm currently on? And if I'm not, what is holding me back? What thing is deep in my subconscious, this shadow card, that only comes out in my inner world that maybe people don't even know I think about or say to myself or believe about myself, that is holding me back from moving into my Ten of Cups, from my truest and wholest fulfillment of my heart's desires, from the truest expression of my soul's wishes, from whatever is on my mind and my heart that calls to me. What am I telling myself internally that someone else maybe told me that I picked up? Maybe it's a social construct, a paradigm. Maybe it's something that I was born into with my birth family. Maybe it's something someone said to me once, or maybe it's just something I concluded on my own. That's keeping me in a Ten of Wands energy where I feel like I have to stay here. Look at this unicorn. She's got to keep it all together. She's got the 10 wands and she's trying to hold them all together, juggling all these responsibilities, all these obligations. Now, there's nothing wrong with responsibility, but what's more satisfying is a responsibility that you want to have, something that lights you up. Like, I have a responsibility to pay my bills, but I do it in the way that lights me up. Do you know what I mean? Like with this and my other channels, as my income flow. So that's a beautiful responsibility. So these 10 of wands, spirit's wanting you to find a way through through navigating your shadows, through the shadows and the moon of yourself, go deeply within to your emotional state and speak and commune with yourself. This could take some time. This could take journaling. This could take meditating. This could take sitting out in nature, whatever allows you to go into stillness and that place where you feel like you're navigating your underworld, where you're like, okay, these are not the things that I allow to live out in the light of day. Maybe I don't feel good enough. Maybe I have beliefs about money that are not serving me. Maybe I am afraid to move out of this comfort zone, like it said, and become more independent. Maybe I'm staying in something, a job or a relationship or a living situation that is less than fulfilling because I am there's certain things that I rely on that I'm not sure if I can provide by following my heart and my passions. And that's a belief that I need to take a look at and find a way to rewrite. Whatever it is, there's something where Spirit's asking you to step fully into agency, fully into authorship and ownership of your own life, and set your bow and arrow here on what it is that you want to do next. Which road do you want to take? And to pursue that, and to pursue it in a way that has complete awareness, not a life that you're living because out of default. Do you know, there's some sense when we fall into these responsibilities, there's some sense here that there's something here that Spirit would love for you to become aware of or recognize, or they're trying to illuminate for you. You're choosing it out of default because it's the life that you've already stepped into, or has already been created, or there's momentum there, and Spirit's gently coming in to say, wisdom from past experiences is supporting you now. What have you learned from everything that you've lived? What has your soul defined is its preferences and what works, what's harmonious for your soul? We're all so unique and so different. That's why there's so many different versions of life being lived. And so what is your version of life that your soul wants to live here on this earth plane? And is there anything that you need to release and allow to be reborn within you in order to live that 10 of Cups happy, satisfied, joyful, excited, enthusiastic life? And go within and determine what those things are and take steps to move towards them, I'd say is the strongest energy in your reading. Sorry if I got weird there. My guides were trying to show me a next deck, so my energy got a little bit split. That's why I was like, bleh. Sounded like the record winding down. Please show us more for group 1. What do they need to know right now? What is it exactly that they can do? What's next? What's next? We've identified where you are, what the message is from Spirit that they're encouraging you. So what's the advice? What should they specifically focus on in order to achieve this 10 of Cups and move out of this 10 of Wands? I heard an inner revolution. An inner revolution. So you could have to do some upending. Turn some tables. Flip some tables in your inner world. Flip some tables in your inner world and say, okay, no more of this. No more of playing small. No more of telling myself that this is all I deserve. That's coming through strongly. No more of holding myself back and kind of, what are they showing me? They're showing me you, what is that word? When you muzzling your inner voice. Your inner voice is like, we'd love to be an artist. And you're like, no. Or we'd love to go live here by the sea. And you're like, no, we can't. There's something here where Spirit's like, allow the possibility to open up even in your own mind. Because as humans, it's very common that we hold ourselves back from dreams because we think once we acknowledge the dream and allow it out of the shadow, then we must take action. And that's scary, right? Because we think it has to happen tomorrow. So we're like, I'm not ready to move to the seaside, even though that's what I want. I'm not ready to leave this relationship, even though that's what I want. I'm not ready to leave this job, even though that's what I want. There's a really safe limbo phase where you can start to imagine, or we think we're going to have more dissatisfaction, right? So we think if I let myself hope for that, or if I let myself accept that I'm unhappy in this relationship, I'm going to have more dissatisfaction because now I'm admitting it to myself that I don't want to be here, right? But that's not necessarily the case. Two things can happen. One, by allowing your fullest soul's truth to come out, you may become activated in a positive way. You may become excited, just like when you know that you're going to take a trip or a vacation, even though it's not happening, say, for a year. My family used to plan vacations a year in advance. My dad was a Libra, so that'll tell you all you need to know about planning. And he would tell us, next year we're going to Disney World. And I'm like, Dad, it's in 12 months. And like, we had to wait for this and have this positive anticipation. So even though it wasn't happening right away, I looked forward to it all year, and I would plan my outfits and I would plan what I'm going to do. And it was a really good exercise, to have as a child, to have that delayed gratification a little bit, right? Because I really appreciated it when we got there. So that's number one. Don't underestimate the excitement that your soul can create in allowing yourself to even think or dream something, even if it's not happening right now, even if it's something that you're allowing the universe to start putting the pieces into play. And then number two, your actual existence. By allowing yourself to fully go with the fullest true expression of your heart's desire, even in your mental, emotional space inwardly, it will improve your current life experience. For example, say you're in a job or in a relationship that's fine, but not everything. Imagine the softening of your heart when you make that decision inside. This is temporary. This is temporary. There's things that are serving me here right now, and I'm open to the universe providing a doorway or a gateway for me to step through when the time is right, and I'll know when the time is right. But for now, this is a temporary situation. There's a lot of things that I can benefit from here and that I can add here. But knowing that it's not your forever lightens your energy. And sometimes that allows for transformation to occur in the actual situation. You might find that you're enjoying the job more. You might find that a doorway opens right within the job where they say, oh, hey, we have a job opening where we're transferring overseas. All of a sudden you're in a different office. All of a sudden you're by the seaside. All of a sudden you're in a new relationship. Like, there's a lot of ways that your current reality can be the stepping stone, and also huge transformation can occur sometimes just by allowing yourself to acknowledge what you would prefer it to be. Because ironically, paradoxically, often the path of least resistance for the universe to give you exactly what you want is through the thing that you're currently in. Not all the time, but that sometimes happens where you're in a relationship and then you're like, gosh, I can't wait to get out of the relationship. It's lacking so much, or this job, it's lacking so much, or this home, place that I'm living, and all of a sudden that thing changes. The loud neighbor moves out. The person you're with who is stressed about something, you have some sort of really authentic conversation and it's game changing. And the dynamics shifts, and all of a sudden you're like, I don't even know if I'm too pressed to be leaving this too soon, because all of a sudden it is starting to, some of these 10 cups are starting to get filled. The job, the boss says, your energy's shifted, and the person, the universe, it creates openings, and all of a sudden the person that's bothering you leaves, or the wage that was unsatisfactory, you get a promotion, and all of a sudden you're like, wow, things are already changing just because I allowed myself, because they will start to change from where you are. Once you start to dream and create and allow your soul to redefine these beliefs and take that lock off your heart and lock off your creative abilities, things will start to change right where you are. So there's no reason to not allow yourself to go there. Okay, I think Spirit's saying they want to wrap your message up because they've given you a lot and they don't want to overwhelm you. So they're going to give you a couple closing cards here. So this is for the next steps we were asking about for group 1. What to focus on. Wow. Holy powerful, you got love. Focus on the frequency of love. Appreciation is the closest frequency to love. Looking all around you. I love this mug that I drank my tea out of. I know it seems silly, but if you've done it, you know what I'm saying. That will take you to the moon in terms of frequency. You will get so high emotionally. I love these comfy slippers, these comfy socks. It can be the smallest thing. I love the feeling of clean sheets. I love taking a shower in the morning and feeling refreshed. I love my walk to work. I love putting down the windows. I love listening to these my favorite playlists on my way to work. I love making this breakfast, this particular thing. Whatever it is, do everything you can, Spirit's saying, to shift to the frequency of love, particularly self-love. Now, once you're on the frequency of love, it will just generally apply to everything. It's like soup. You can't kind of like separate it. You will love everything that you set your eyes on, but don't forget to turn that inwards. Gosh, I love my face. I'm so intelligent. I'm so creative. I love that about me. I love that my spirit never gives up. I love that I'm constantly expanding. I love how I handled that situation. I love how giving of a friend I am. Whatever it is, focus on love will bring in this 10 of Cups love and allow you to make the frequency shift required to transform this dynamic. And your last card here is, you got Voyage. Okay, so I wonder if you have messages in the whale pile. Spirit just said to me right away, because this whale looks identical to the whale card. I think it was group 4. Only if that resonates. I'm just pointing that out because they're pointing it out to me. It says Voyage. So if this had to do with traveling or journeying, it has a little baby whale under here. So this could be you and someone else. This could be you in a partnership, you and your children, you and your inner child. You're going on a trip. This is a journey. Now, this could be literal or this could be an inner journey. You're transversing from this 10 of Cups frequency-wise to a timeline, or 10 of Wands to a timeline where you have the 10 of Cups. And interesting that you have the moon as that transition point, and these two are journeying under the moon. Going inwards and taking a really honest, clear look at your inner world, taking stock and saying, am I holding myself back in any way? Do I have limiting beliefs? Am I abiding in a frequency of love and appreciation for myself and for my life and for others the majority of the time? Is there anything within me that is really holding me back from the life, this 10 of Cups life that I really want to enjoy? And as you take that journey through the shadows of your inner world, together with Spirit, because you're not alone, ask them to join you. Say, we're going to take some time this week and transverse into our inner world. I'm going to set aside 20 minutes or half an hour every night or every morning or whenever you can take it, even if it's right before you fall asleep in bed, if that's the only private time you have. And I'm going to do a self exploration. I'm going to transverse, and not transverse, maybe, but you're going to traverse your shadowland, which is your inner murky depths that is not always clear and not always illuminated in the sun. And you're going to gather them up, hug them to you and say, let's take a look at you. You've been in the corner in the shadows for too long. And you're going to bring it out into the light of your awareness, which means you're going to look at it. So if relationships is something that's, a thorn in your side, if it's income, if it's money, if it's your purpose, you're going to raise it up to the light of your consciousness and say, let's take a look. Spirit, show me, my angels, highlight for me what it is. What is it? Is it worthiness? Is it a lack of belief in myself? Is it limiting beliefs I have to rewrite? And write it down. Journal what you get. Journal what you get when you wake up in the morning, when you're woken up at 3 a.m. For a period, I would say, of a week. Ask for anything in the shadows that's holding you back from a life of fulfillment and joy to be highlighted, and write it all down. And then when you have that there and it's clear, process it and decide when you're ready what action steps to take. Then say to Spirit, show me which steps to take in the perfect timing, when I'm ready to step into those next actions to lead me to this 10 of Cups. It could be very simple. It could be something you do internally that changes your dynamic overnight, or it could be a series of things that move you into a new timeline, into a new space, and with new people that you're more aligned and harmonious with. But whatever it is, there's some burden that is releasing from your life here that Spirit's calling you towards deep emotional and fulfillment on every level of your life. Security, abundance, happiness, harmony, love, calling you into leadership about this and ownership of your own life. And like it said in your card, it's time. It's time for you to take this journey. And if you tried to take this journey before and it didn't work internally, Spirit's saying, it just wasn't the right time. You're now at the tipping point. You're now at the point that you've learned from your past experiences. What did we hear? Past karma. There's been some karmic clearing or karmic releasing or karmic lesson learned. And now when you do this, it will easily and seamlessly and it will feel like forward movement swiftly towards whatever a 10 of Cups would feel like for you, my friend. I really loved your reading for you. I'm extraordinarily happy for you. I love the healing energy that's surrounding your reading. Thank you so much for being here. If any other reading called to you, then I will see you there shortly. And if not, it'll be in another reading on another day. Bye. Hello, group twos, and welcome to your reading. You chose this peacock card. It says, express your gifts openly without diminishing yourself, and the rose quartz sphere. Sophia. So we're finding out from Spirit, what are you meant to hear right now? Why have you been drawn to this reading? What do you exactly need to know for what's going on for you in your world right now? For group 2, please, Spirit teams of group 2s. Please show us the overall theme for this reading. Okay, you got the Observer coming out right away. And the Explorer. Oh, wow. I almost picked this deck for the resonant opening cards, and this was one of the ones that Spirit showed me. So often they'll bring it out again in another reading. So I see that's what's happened here. And I want to also get some from this deck. For group 2, please. Someone could be having pain in their lower back. You got the Mountain, card 2. 2 fingers there pointing to the peak of the mountain. And you got the Island, card 17. Okay. So let's pull your tarot and then see what these larger messages are about here. Show us for group 2, please. What do they exactly need to know right now for what's going on in their current reality? Okay, the Moon coming out. That came out in group 1. The 6 of Swords coming out in reverse. Okay. Very clearly came out in reverse there. So something you maybe aren't ready to move on from, something you're kind of feeling stuck in, some sort of like emotional, these 2 are coming out. Oh, 4 of Wands and the 9 of Wands. Okay, wow. A lot of Wands energy coming out here. Okay, so let's get into this and explore the message here that Spirit wants you to know. So with the 6 of Wands coming out in reverse, we'll show it to you upright. When it's upright, it's moving on to brighter days, moving on from like a stormy situation. Maybe you were in like conflict or hostility or some sort of like emotional, not just lower energy, and then it's that relief after the storm where you're moving on. Maybe you've decided to move on from something, or you're like, I just can't be in this job or this relationship anymore. I'm still dealing with this pain and this hurt, but I'm pausing from it. I'm trying to put it to an end and take the higher road and move out of this storm. So if that's coming up in reverse, it's showing that you're not moving on from it. Maybe there's a choice where you're deciding, I don't want to leave this situation, or I'm not ready to move on, or I can't. Or maybe you're still embroiled in the back and forth of whatever this dynamic is. Then we have the moon showing some sort of shadowy or unknown elements, or some sort of intuition that you've been getting here. Something maybe that's not clear, but that will be revealed in time. Maybe that's the path to move out of the Six of Wands reverse energy into Six of Wands upright so that you can move on, or maybe there's a different path to that. Moving on is not always the answer, right? Sometimes things can be healed right where you are, or things can be transformed. That could be why it came out in reverse for you. That could be spirit giving that indicator. Only you will know, right? It's a general reading. Four of Wands. So this could be some sort of stability, security, celebration. This can be like the Happy Families card. This can be marriage, engagement, creating something, building something, some sort of success or achievement. It's stability coming in, because I always take Four of Wands as four legs of the table instead of three or two. It's a little bit wobbly. Four is like, okay, now we're really getting somewhere. Now we're really moving forward on this. We've, committed this. We're building this, whether it's in work or a relationship, career. And then you have the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands is like this unicorn has a little bandage, right? You're feeling a little tired, a little weary. You've been going pretty hard at this, pretty far. You've been, you're trying to cross the finish line on something. Here. So let's find out here what your cards are. So now you had the Observer and the Explorer. So I feel like you're in an energy where you are also uncertain, because you're taking a look at a situation, or you're being encouraged here to step back and take a look at a situation that you've maybe been putting a lot of energy into, and see if take a little time to assess. Take a little time to move out of the, back and forth, the hostility, the toxicity, whatever it is that the Six of Swords energy is creating. And really review what's really going on without projections, without being triggered. Observe the situation. What's the dynamic that's really at play? And with the Explorer here, it has the eye at the top of the compass and the heart here at the bottom, almost indicating your intuition is going to be led by your heart. So it's quite possible that there's some situation here that looks maybe like you should move on from it, but in your heart, you really don't feel led to. That could be one interpretation here that I'm getting coming through. And that if you kind of can find your way through this moon energy, this could be something really positive here that you want to celebrate with the Four of Wands, even though you might be getting a little tired and feeling a little like, okay, like this came up in a recent reading. It's kind of that energy of, when you're in a partnership or in a marriage or a committed relationship or even a friendship, and one person is really going through it, like either they're very busy at work, they're just trying to achieve something, or they've gone through something, maybe they've had a loved one pass, and the energy is not great, but you really don't want to move on from it. It's just, maybe they're going through a depression, for example, or a medical diagnosis. People can get really not their best selves when they're not feeling well, right? Like, how you feel when you have a headache or something like this, or a stomach ache. We get very cranky, we get very irritable, because we're not used to feeling so much discomfort, and you're not meant to be in discomfort, right? So we don't feel well. And then of course we take it out on those around us, because sometimes we don't have the strength to hold back that comment, or hold back that snipe, or to make things a little bit more sugar coated or appealing or easy to digest as when we're feeling well, right? And our cup is poured into it. If your cup is empty, sometimes you're just like, give me some water, please. I'm so thirsty, instead of, being able to be like, oh, sure, I'll take a refill when you have time, right? It really depends on the inner state that you're sitting in. So if you have a partner or a friend or something, or a family member who's been going through something, you could be feeling like, okay, I'm not trying to leave the situation and move on from it. I'm in it for the long haul. And Spirit's showing there could be some sort of celebration here, a partnership. Like they're celebrating here under this kind of wedding arch. It doesn't mean it has to be a wedding, but it could be marriage. It could be like once you get through this, this partnership will be solidified. Right now, I'm not suggesting ever that you stay in anything that is harmful or dangerous or anything like that. This is not the energy that I'm talking about. I am just simply talking about where someone is just not at their best or going through a rough time, not, not like you're used to them being. Like I remember my parents, my dad went through depression, and my mom was like, I don't know how much longer I can do with this because he's so crotchety. But of course, like she never left his side. They have a very committed relationship, but she was very vocal about how challenging it was to be with this person who she knew to be so full of light and love and happiness and peace, be in such a dark, stormy persona, in a shadowy energy of him. And after about a year or so, he came out of it. We remembered it even as I was a teenager at the time. It was very obvious he was not himself and he was dealing with this depression. And like my parents now, I was a teenager and now I'm 44. So it's like, we're talking like 30 years later. My parents are like closer than they've ever been. They're best friends. So that it could be that type of energy where she wasn't going to move on from this emotional, issue. She was going to stick by him, even though it was unclear what was going on with him at the time. It did result in stability and a happy ever after for them, right? But my mom was weary. My dad was weary. They were both weary. They were both 9 of Wands after that, right? And probably needed some sort of mental vacation. Excuse me. So let's read. So it could be that type of energy I'm describing. Apply that to whatever in your life you feel similar about right now. This could be caring for a partner or a parent or something who's going through a health diagnosis. This could be staying in a job that you really want to see through while there's some sort of like temporary, restructuring or new supervision that you're really not vibing with, but you really want to stay at this job. This could be same with a friend situation. This could be you're renovating your house. And right now you're like, I just want to get the heck out of here and move on from this. But I have invested so much into this. It's my exact design. If I can just see this through, I'm going to have this celebration. I'm going to have a housewarming party. But man, am I getting weary. That's the energy here. Something that you're not wanting to move on from, that you want to see through. And Spirit's coming in with this encouragement. Now, it does say express your gifts openly without diminishing yourself with this peacock card. Now, I'm wondering how that relates. So let's read from this Alchemy of Spirit Oracle, the Mountain, and see if we can get a little bit more insight here, Spirit. It says, the mountain, the moment of truth. Now look how apt this is for what we've just discussed. Look for the gift in the challenge. A mountain appears in front of you as your spirit prays for a vision. This is the time for action, daring, and great potential. You may not know exactly where you're going right now, the moon, but you do know you need to keep moving. You know within your heart you must travel into this unknown. You must lose yourself and move away from your comfort zone to break free. Right now, you don't need a big plan or an answer for everything. Trust, this path will appear as you start to move. So take the first step and take the next step and so on. Focus on the obstacle ahead of you and not this entire mountain. If self-doubt starts to rise, look within your heart and remember why you started. This is the most important thing you need to carry within your heart to reach the top. Your intention to find this vision you have for your life. Don't rush, but also don't procrastinate. There's still time, but there's no time to waste. If you're in balance with this energy, you're comfortable stepping out of your comfort zone. You're finding your path and you're daring greatly. If you're out of balance with this energy, you might be rushing through things, trying to avoid challenges, or lacking clear vision. Okay, that makes a lot of sense with what we discussed. Now, what's this island card all about for you in this situation? It says moment of presence, here and now, that is all there is. Have you forgotten how to live in awe of the little things? Well, today the universe wants to remind you to be in the moment. Maybe you're spending so much time thinking about where you want to go, you've forgotten to live in the present. Now that also came up in the mountain card. Focus on the step in front of you, not the whole mountain. Slow down and get out of your head and look around you. Feel the vibrance of the trees, listen to the birds, and get in tune with the beauty of the world. Place your feet on the ground and your hands on your chest. Feel your presence and the beat of your heart. Feel the cold, feel the heat. Lower your shoulders, unclench unclench your jaw and reconnect with your body. Find refuge within your own being. A Zen master once credited the Buddha for saying that there is a safe island within yourself that you can go back to every time you feel afraid, unstable, or in despair. That island of self is one breath away. And it is through practicing stillness and being grounded in the moment that you can access this place of tranquility in your soul. So, the more hurry you have, the more stillness you'll need to practice. Try meditating. You don't need to do it for hours, but even 5 minutes a day is an enormous achievement. If you're in balance with this, you're feeling present and in the moment, you're still, you're finding inner peace and quietude. If you're out of balance, you might be dwelling in the future, feeling anxious, rushing, or worrying. Okay, so I sense that there's a situation going on in your life that you don't want to move on from, or you don't know if you can or when you will be able to move on from it. The Six of Swords. It could be any of those. But at the same time, you're struggling with this. Spirit sees you're struggling with this because you're feeling very uncomfortable in your now. Either because this person or situation is right up close to you. And you're like, how can I find my sense of happiness and peace while I'm observing this situation? We're going to get a few more cards, but the advice so far here is that there's some happiness or partnership or harmony or celebration at the other side of this, which is what I suspect you suspect. You're like, I think if I push through this, this will result in my promotion or this pay raise, or I know it will because they've told me, or I think if I stick by my person, this will make us stronger, even though it's difficult right now. Or I think if I push through on this renovation, this will be my dream house, even if I'm struggling with the builders and even if I'm struggling financially. There's something that Spirit is saying to you. Your perspective is what just needs a slight tweak. There's a couple things here. There's a couple really nuggets, jewels here to unpack. Number one, what if you approach this from a little bit of a different angle, right? What if you see yourself in a chapter and a phase of your life that was unexpected and maybe you feel like is unwanted, but Spirit's asking you, look for the gifts in this. Has this opportunity brought anything, this challenge, an obstacle, brought anything that would be a gift? Is it more time with someone that maybe you would never have had otherwise? Is it the ability to use certain gifts that you have? Has it been calling on you to activate things within yourself that you either haven't ever had to use, or that you're really able to nurture and kind of refine? Maybe it's patience, maybe it's listening, maybe it's researching, maybe it's having an open mind. There's something here where Spirit's saying, approach this mountain as you would an explorer. Approaching a mountain as an obstacle is completely different experience than an explorer would approach it. Look at this mountain I can climb. Look at all these obstacles and challenges that I can have the satisfaction of overcoming. Look at all of the things to explore and the depths to find out about myself. Do I have to make a fire? How long can I hike per the day? What type of food is nourishing to me? What type of challenges am I going to experience? Wildlife? Are there fears that I can overcome? How will this push me out of my comfort zone that will allow me to grow and be impressed with myself and show myself aspects and qualities that I didn't even know that I had? What type of people will I meet on this journey? And also this island, when we're faced with an uncomfortable situation within ourself or within our external, environment, it can allow you to really find a way to create that inner peace, that inner island. Because when something is out of control outside of yourself, like my mom experienced and we experienced as kids with our dad, we had to figure out how to find our own happiness. We could no longer rely on him to be in this positive mood that would lift the vibe of the house. And it was such an incredible learning lesson because we all realized that another person's mood can really set everybody off. If you get one crotchety person in a household, the whole household feels crotchety, right? And like tense. And because we loved our dad so much and we had such respect for him because he was, such a fair and kind and generous man, we had that grace and compassion. It was easy for us. We don't always have that, right? If we don't know the person well or something, or if we're just thrown into a situation. But in that situation, we had that grace and compassion, even though we were getting towards the end of our rope. Nine of Wands, we were all getting real, like kill it with the attitude, man. Like just, you never want to do anything. You're always complaining about something. You're just in this crotchety mood. You're just in a low energy. You're bringing down the whole vibe of the house. You're snapping. You're short tempered. You have no patience. We were all losing our grace and compassion, even for in that situation towards the end of that year. But within that, we knew this is not his normal self. This is his shadow aspects. And we were happy to support him and hold space for him. I don't know if we were happy, but we understood that we needed to support him and hold space for him while he navigated this, health and mental health crisis, right, that he was experiencing. And it taught me so much, because it taught me as a teenager to find an island within myself, that I didn't have to be reliant on the mood of the household. I could go in my room and read a book. I could go and do my artwork. I could go for a walk in a park. It kind of created my first sense of autonomy within me, where it actually was probably divinely on my path from like a contract with my father and I, before we even got here, that would happen in those formative years for me, because it allowed me to develop my autonomy. And that has served me so well, where I said, okay, it allowed me to split apart a little bit from that parental, dynamic at that formative age. And I'm explaining this to you because I think it has relevance to your situation, Spirit's saying, and it gave me that gift. I found a way to find happiness within myself, even as a young, teenager, preteen, where I was like, wow, like doing my art gives me that feeling of peace, of happiness, of satisfaction. Reading a book, going for a walk, organizing my room. I started to get a part-time job because I wanted to be out of the house more. It allowed me to have financial stability. All of these things probably wouldn't happen. That independence wouldn't have been nurtured and required if my dad had still been in his, regular dad role of like, okay, family's doing this, we're having a barbecue, we're going on vacation. None of that was happening. And we were kind of all left to our own devices, more or less, because that leader of the household wasn't in a place where he could pour into anybody. He was just trying to figure out his own demons and his own self. So there's something here that this situation is creating an island for you. Now I'm seeing, for example, they're showing me a snapshot. This could be a real thing, or this could be just an example they're giving of somebody who's in a situation where someone's in like hospice or intensive care, and you're spending a lot of time in a hospital room or some sort of nursing facility. But they're showing me, and of course your spirit is troubled, because maybe this person is passing, or maybe you're unsure of the diagnosis, but they're also showing me that this island within yourself, while this person is sleeping or just dealing with the regular day-to-day things, just your presence being there, you can find a sense of peace. I don't know if they're showing me you're doing this, or if this is what they're suggesting, but they're showing me someone with like a cup of coffee, reading a book, looking out at the view outside of this hospital room or nursing care room, and a sense of peace comes over you, where you're like, maybe this isn't what I would have thought I would be doing with my day. Maybe you had to take time off work. Maybe it gave you a gift of time off work. Maybe it gave you a gift of more time with this person or with yourself, right? Because maybe this person's not even that communicative, and you're just kind of there to be there as care. They're giving me that example of there is some gifts in this situation, that's allowing you to create this inner peace and also learn so much about yourself as and if you approach this with this explorer mentality. Now, the other aspect to unwrap here is these gifts, this peacock card. Express your gifts openly without diminishing yourself. This is strongly coming through from Spirit. You have been specially brought to and led to this situation that you're in from your higher self and from the universe at large, because you have special gifts that this situation needs. Is that humor? Is it compassion? Is it problem solving? Is it love? Is it understanding? Is it navigating certain logistics like care and medical situations and supervision? Is it planning and organizing. Maybe there's estate things that need to happen. Maybe you're on a project at work, or maybe you are, there's something that you're at the helm of this, or you're involved in this because you bring specific gifts. But Spirit's almost showing me your tail is closed because you have a certain, maybe you feel like the situation was kind of put on you and you don't really realize yet your leadership, the potential for your leadership and why you're in this situation. You're in this situation to make it better, not to fix the situation, right? It's not that you have to fix it. It's that there's something, that some part of this is out of your control, right? Like if it's a medical diagnosis, or if it's something going on in your workplace or with your partner or with your family, there's some part of it. For example, maybe you have a child that's struggling with something, right? And you feel so helpless. And you're not going to turn your back on your child, but you don't understand what's going on and you just want to be happy and stable with them again. But you see this as a mountain. What if you're exploring this? What if you're able to show up for your child or your partner in a way that this situation allows you to show them? Where when everything's happy-go-lucky, we don't always have that opportunity to be like, this is the type of person that I am for you. But you're able to show compassion or understanding or resonance with them at a level. You're able to help them explore their shadow sides. You know what I'm saying? You're able to be that parent that you've always wanted to be, or maybe that you needed, or the partner that you always needed. For someone to say, hey, I get it. You feel I don't know if I can say that. You feel ishy. You feel not your best. You feel, like I see you. You're struggling with something, but listen, you're on a journey, and I know you're going to figure this out because you have wisdom inside you, and I'm here if you need me, but I'm not going to impose. I'm not going to intervene, and I'm certainly not going to make you feel bad for figuring this out, because we are all going through our stuff. And you're going through something right now, and I think you're incredible, and I think that you're strong, and I think that you're brave, and I think that you're going to figure this out. And whatever you need from me, you let me know. Otherwise, I'll be here cheering you on. Like, it could be something that you completely just show up in a way for this situation or this person. Like, I remember it's showing me a couple examples that they want me to give you. When one of the companies had been working for a very long time, 20 years, had to file bankruptcy during COVID, and it ended up being restructured, and we ended up, like, it doesn't matter, but we ended up being hired back on by the company who bought it and all of this. But when that happened, everybody was panicking. This is a huge company. And it was, people were worried about their jobs, and I was in a position of leadership, and it allowed me to really shine, because I was like, okay, someone's got to hold the light. Like, we cannot all panic. And it really allowed me to step into leadership qualities that I didn't even know I had. So that's one example from a workplace. The other example Spirit's giving me is the one with my father. This is when I learned the power of love and your frequency. I realized, because I was still intuitive, and even at that age, even though I didn't acknowledge it to this level, something inside me, now I know it was my guides, said to me, you can uplift his spirit. You can actually help his healing by maintaining your frequency. Don't go down there with him. Now, they didn't use the word frequency, but they showed it to me as love. Like, whenever I interacted with my dad, if he would get crotchety or hostile, instead of meeting him there and being like, okay, whatever, and walking away, or being like, just avoiding him, I would just do my best to lift his spirits and lift him up in that situation. Like, if he was in the kitchen cooking something, I would just be like, oh my gosh, that smells so good. Dad, you're so good at cooking. He was an excellent cook. I mean, can you show me that? And he'd be like, well, I don't know what you want me to, what do you want to know? But slowly over time, that extra little it was almost like I refused to, we all knew he wasn't feeling well, but I wouldn't let it cloud my interaction with him. Does that make sense? I just kept my own stability. And he was in that for a period of, I would say, a year or more. When I had that realization, I would say in a period of a week or two, he drastically improved. And I'm not giving that credit to myself. I'm just saying that because he did that. I'm just saying that Spirit's showing me there are situations that you're put in to hold the light and hold the frequency, because it will have positive positive repercussions. It will have positive influence over the situation, and it will expedite either their healing or the situation coming back into harmony and alignment. So that's your message here today. Let's get 2 cards here for what's next, or what's the result or the outcome of this for group 2, please. Thank you for this message. For group 2, what's the outcome or what's next? We'll do those 2. Okay, number 1 is embracing. Okay, I do see this. I see you moving into an energy not only of embracing this situation to the point that you might almost be like, I so was over the situation and wanted to move on from it, but now I'm actually enjoying the things that it's bringing up from me, the qualities and the, like I said, I keep seeing leadership abilities and the time or whatever these gifts are that this challenge is bringing. I see you starting to actually embrace this darkness. Like, see how there's fireflies around this crane and the sun is setting, but the crane is enjoying this moment of tranquility. The crane is like, I love this moment in time. And I see you actually finding a way to, I don't want to say enjoy. I think that's like maybe too strong of a word for some of your situations, but you embrace it instead of resisting it. That's the energy. And I also see there being some sort of embracing, some sort of harmony restored here on a physical level, where maybe you're actually hugging the person, or you end up like with the 4 of Wands, there ends up being some sort of celebration. At the end of this, it really shifts from like an energy of like, I want to push this away, to an energy of like, you know what, this, I know this is on my path for a reason, although it's probably not my preference. Not everything that we grow from and learn from and is meaningful to us we would have chosen, right? Because we can't see all the gifts that are in there. And look at your final card here. You got wonders. There's a crystal, there's space. I feel like this is one of those life situations, like that one I told you about that happened with my dad, that is very meaningful for you, and that causes a lot of growth, but not the growth that it's like there's different types of growth. That type of growth where you really step into a different version of yourself, and where you really discover and explore qualities of yourself and of this dynamic that you're like, wow, like that was such a turning point for me. I actually went on to become, it changed your career, or it changed your perspective on life. They're showing me the Hanged Man card. Something where you're just like, wow, like I really like learned so much about life and death, or about, my own inner world, my own shadows, or things that I had to really surrender or release to the universe. And it really like I'm seeing like signs and synchronicities and things that just cannot be explained. I feel like this situation is bringing to you. It has some sort of kind of magical, miraculous quality and element to it, where it's a little bit outside the norm. I don't feel like this is your everyday situation where you're just asking about like career, or you're just asking about a living situation, or, money or something. It could involve all of those things, but the way that this whole situation is unfolding, with this mountain, with the moon, with the challenge, but then the island, and you find some peace and understanding within yourself, and then there's some sort of epiphany moment, and then this explorer where you go on some sort of like quest, and you overcome this challenge, or you see this challenge through, and you kind of marvel at everything. And maybe at the end of it, yeah, you're a little bit weary. Maybe you're feeling weary right now, and as you get through it, maybe you've had some bumps and emotional scrapes, or griefs, or disappointments, or heartbreaks, or discomfort, but it becomes this beautiful 4 of Wands. It becomes something that you're like, that challenge, that chapter in my life, I wouldn't have traded it for the world, because either it created this time that I had with this person, or it created this opportunity for me to have this growth and understanding and express these qualities about myself, or it brought me together with this person, or this partnership, or this business, or this in this marriage, or in this whatever it is. It's something that you're going through that Spirit's saying, this is kind of one of those life moments, one of those momentous things that is a gift wrapped in a challenge. And if you'll just continue to walk through it and trust this unknown energy, approach it with this curious, problem solving, explorer energy. Don't forget, you can go back to your inner island of peace anytime that you start to feel too burdened and weary. You can resource at the source. You are going to come out the other side of this just with a new feeling of appreciation, I think, for what it brought you, all of the gifts and moments and challenges that it will end up delivering as you walk through this shadowy time in your life towards this Four of Wands energy. Really in-depth, kind of like multi-layered reading there. Thank you so much for being here. All of the best in this challenge. You've absolutely can do this, and it will be something very meaningful to you. Spirit's showing me. You may have already been able to see what I'm saying. You might be like, yeah, I kind of suspected that. Absolutely sending you all of my love. If you felt called to any of the other groups, then I will see you there shortly. And if not, it'll be another reading on another day. Bye. Hello group 3, and welcome to your reading where we are finding out what are you meant to know right now from your spirit team. You chose the pile here with this horse card, and it says forward motion reconnects you with freedom and vitality, and you chose the desert rose crystal. So let's get right into it and start to find out the overall general theme, please, from the spirit teams for group 3. Oh, let me shuffle that some more. I just put those in backwards by accident. Let me get that again. So the lot just hopped out. I think that was my hand and not the shuffle. Can we please get overall themes for group 3 with the horse card? Okay, I see this popping out. Reclaim. Okay, very powerful card there coming out. Is there anything else? I heard nope. And we're going to get... So this could be about reclaiming your vitality, reclaiming your freedom, your energy, some sort of forward movement on something, and those two presented. So we've also got the stairs, which is card 1, and we've got the lion, card 26. Okay, so we're going to get into those in a second. We'll pull some tarot. Spirit, please. It's like, do you see how it's like your energy is calling forth like answers right away? Like, but I don't know if it's too precise. So do you feel like you're kind of like throwing mud at the wall to try to see what stick? Because both times I picked up the card before I was ready, a lump of cards just came out that didn't quite feel right to me in both cases. So that could be an energy that you feel like you're in. For group 3, please show us what is the strongest energy, most important, with the greatest clarity for group 3s. Ooh, justice. Okay, so you got some Libra scales there. What else for group 3? 4 of Pentacles, okay, and 7 of Cups. Okay, so you got a lot of choices. And maybe feeling a little bit like you don't want to, I'm taking that because it came off, 6 of Pentacles, a little bit like you don't want to relinquish control of something, or you're afraid to release something. Really interesting energy coming up here. I'm going to put that 4 of Pentacles there and the 6 of Pentacles here because I pulled it after. Okay, so how interesting that you have justice here. The 6 of Pentacles, if you want to look at the screen real quick, look at the scales. Both cards have scales. So there's balance returning here, either to a situation where you feel it's unbalanced. You have the reclaim. That can be like reclaiming balance, reclaiming harmony, fairness, equality, the right thing, karmic, justice. So there's some sort of reciprocation here that is going to be returning. Maybe you feel like you've been giving a lot and not getting any in return to the situation. Now, the 4 of Pentacles, so this may be making you feel a little bit like you have to tightly cling to something. Maybe you're not getting enough emotional satisfaction, enough love, your needs are not being met. Maybe financially you're feeling really tight or restrained, or like you finally found your balance and now you don't want to open up to anything. And then you have the Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups here is showing you have choice. Some things are illusion, some things are unknown, some things are what you want. So we're finding out why Spirit has called you to this reading, particularly if you're in this energy. If any of this is resonating, then you're in the right place. So you have Reclaim as your main card, and we're going to read the Stairs and the Lion here to find out what the advice is that Spirit's wanting you to know right now. So the Stairs is moment of beginnings, and it says start where you are. Today, a new path opens before you. Life is giving you the opportunity for a new beginning. Before stepping onto this path, know there will be challenges, but also trust when the time comes, you'll know how to overcome them. Seven of Cups. There will be things. You'll be surprised at how strong you are when you're put to the test, and you will discover your power along the way. You need to start where you are with the tools and the knowledge you have now. Don't wait for any perfect moment, because your entire life will pass in search of it. Go at your own pace. You don't need to rush, and the only person in this race to beat is yourself. The ending is not the destination. Learn to fall in love with this process, because this is where the beauty of life happens. This moment is your wake-up call. Go in search of a life that aligns with your purpose. Will you accept the call to adventure? If you're in balance with this energy, you're beginning anew, you're starting fresh, or starting a new chapter at something. If you're out of balance, let me hold up this Four of Pentacles, you're fearing diving into the unknown, you're playing it safe, or you're missing opportunities. That's a very Four of Pentacles energy, which is probably why it's showing there. Now let's see what this Lion has to say, because it actually said something there about inner strength that made me think that you also got the Lion card. Spirit of strength. There's strength in your heart, and it's waiting to be awakened. This Spirit of the Lions comes to manifest the strength of your heart. Recognize your power and find your place in this world. Yes. Trust in your abilities and put your talent into practice. Yes. Find what you are good at. Let that shine. Find your weaknesses. Accept them. Be proud of who you are, because strength is rooted in self-love and confidence. Be strong at will, but soft at heart. Remember, be kind and gentle and measure your words. Oh, that's very the scales here. Find the balance between being direct but not being rude, as well as being assertive but not overpowering. Speak your truth, but know when silence is a better answer. A strong spirit requires a lot of temperance to stay in balance, and you have this Justice card and the Six of Pentacles, which is all about balance and tempering energy. At all times, remember that being strong and powerful is, at the same time, about being vulnerable and humble. Vulnerable enough to know when to ask for help, and humble enough to not let power become an obsession. If you're in balance with this card, you're strengthening your will, you're becoming determined, assertive, and confident. If you're out of balance, you might be lacking leadership, fearing being seen, having low self-esteem, or being insecure. So this has to do with reclaiming your own power in something, reclaiming your sense of confidence and will and agency, being the helm of your life. Now, specifically, it seems to have something to do here with stepping out of your comfort zone or releasing something that you're kind of clinging to or holding tightly to. Forward motion reconnects you with freedom and vitality. There's something you need to let go of. I mean, isn't that always the story of every single tarot spread? There's something you need to let go of that you're clinging too tightly to. It could be limiting beliefs about yourself. It could be a story about the past. It could be some sense of justice or equality that you feel like needs to be there in order for you to move forward, because there is this Justice and the Six of Pentacles, which is both about balance, but you have a lot of choice. You have a lot of options. We're going to need more information. So let's get Spirit to give us more information. Oh, I just heard them say grab 2 more tarot. I didn't do that for anybody else, but they'd like that for you. Okay, show us a little bit more of this message here that you wanted to tell group 3, please. Yeah, I'm hearing there's a lot of things that you want to manifest. Like they're showing me in the cups here. There's the unicorn, there's a house, there's a castle, there's jewels, there's victory and success. But you're also a little bit trepidatious because there's also a ghost, a snake, a dragon, like you're like, I don't know how to put my energy into this in a way that maybe keeps yourself in balance or keeps that fear or that fear of the unknown kind of at bay. Take the first step, strength, or claim your power. Okay. So please show us a bit more specifics, please, for group 3. There's like a little key here we're missing. I can feel it. There's like a little something that's not been revealed yet. That'll make you be like, oh, yes, aha. 5 of Pentacles. Oh my gosh, you have the 4 of Pentacles, the 5 of Pentacles, and the 6 of Pentacles. Okay, so I'm sensing that you've come from a situation where there was either financial or some sort of disappointment, and that's why you're in this 4 of Pentacles energy. Maybe you came from, poverty or not having enough or some sort of financial ruin or like divorce or separation or job loss, where you're like, I've been through that. I've been through not having enough. I've been through being out in the cold and hard times. And so now I'm very, Spirit's seeing that you're holding yourself back from life's choices, from the bounty of life, from kind of pursuing options in your life because you're trying very hard to keep this energy in balance where you're like, I don't want to give to this. I don't want to invest in, I'll give you some examples they're giving me. I don't want to invest in this business because what if I lose it all again? I don't want to invest in this relationship because what if it doesn't go anywhere again and I get my heart broken? I don't want to move because even though I'm uncomfortable here, because what if I like it even less than where I am now? It's kind of like that is the grass greener thing. But there's something here with all of these scales where your guides are saying maybe you're giving, but you're not actually taking from the universe. Maybe you're investing your hard work into, say, a career, but then you're not actually spending anything on the things that you want or improving your everyday experience. Or maybe you're wanting a relationship, but you're not willing to step into it and release your some level of your independence. You don't have to release your independence, but you know what I mean? Like connect with someone in that way where you're kind of sharing a little bit of yourself. There's something here where the scales are important. There's balance. Okay, give us more. What should they be moving towards? Like, what's the advice? I see that one turning there. Oh, you got, my gosh, you got 2 of Pentacles. You got another balance card. This is incredible how many times you've gotten this message to balance it. The yin, the yang, the divine masculine, the divine feminine. Allow some, take some, receive some, dream some, and then do some. There's something that you're out of balance about. I feel like you're playing it too safe in life. Like you're just like very guarded about your finances, maybe about your heart, maybe about your dreams and ambitions, because horse is all about personal power, that vitality, that freedom, that movement forward motion reconnects you with freedom and vitality. The opposite of freedom and vitality is 4 of Pentacles. Playing it safe, staying stuck, clinging to things. When we cling to things in states of being, your soul is constantly calling for evolution and forward motion. So when we cling to things and states of being, or like, anything in our life where we don't allow free flowing energy to move, we give, we take, we put into the economy, we remove from the economy. We buy something, we work, we give some love, we take some, like there, when you're not flowing with the energy and you're trying to remain guarded and stagnant, you can get very tired, very heavy feeling in your energy because you're not in that flow. So you're kind of just doing one side of, you're either just gathering, right? Gathering information, gathering Pentacles, gathering your money, gathering your time, gathering your resources, trying to protect and stay secure and have enough. But then when you're not making any withdrawals, that may be making you feel safe, but it's actually stagnating your evolution, right? Because you can't, there's not much growth that can happen from a fixed position. You can't learn things, you can't experience yourself, you can't express, you can't kind of like be curious and find out things about yourself, but you also really limit your experience of your world. It may see, even like they're showing me going out to a restaurant. If you're like, I never want to, I'm saying if you have the money, right? Because that can be very expensive. But occasionally you might feel like I want to go out on a date, or I want to go out with my partner, or I want to go meet a friend, but I don't want to use any of my money for that, because I just want to stay safe. But then that's an experience that you're not allowing yourself to have. That conversation, that environment, meeting the people, interacting with the waiter, the waitress staff, eating that food, experiencing that cuisine, having that night of freedom just for pleasure, just for the luxury of a delicious meal that someone has created. Then that restraint is there. It sounds so small, right? But when there's too much restraint, you're basically commanding and instructing the universe. We are in a state of scarcity and restraint. We are in a state of withhold. We are in a state of stillness, stagnancy. We don't want more. We don't want movement. We don't. So that's not the natural order of the universe. The natural order of the universe is flow. It's the wheel. It's constant movement. It's constant expansion, exploration, and this beautiful give and take of exploration, of desires, of pursuing something and then getting to enjoy something. And there's something here with your energy where you're out of balance with the exploration of life, with this stepping into your freedom. They keep giving me freedom. It's like the freedom to explore, the freedom to decide, the freedom to pursue, the freedom to try things, try new things. Do I want a date? Do I want a relationship? What do I want to do with my partner? Do I want to grow this? Do I want to learn something? Do I want to start a new business? Do I want to invest in this business? Do I want to go to school? Do I want to take a class? Do I want to start a hobby? There's so much that requires equal give and take with the universe, with people, with places, with things. You've got to allow yourself to put in a little bit. For example, say you really want to learn something, they're showing me that, but you don't want to part with the pentacles required to take that course. Then you're holding yourself back from that wealth, that experience, that information, where that information and knowledge could take you, like down a certain career path, the people you could meet there, the memories you will make. It's too limiting. And so there's something here in your energy where I feel like there's a sense that you either feel like you have to self-protect, or you don't have that confidence here with the lion, where you feel like you don't know where to start. But this message is reclaim. Reclaim your zest for life. Reclaim your pursuit of the life that you want to create. What did it say in the stairs? There was one line that said, where did it say it? Before stepping, a new path opens before you. You have the opportunity at a new beginning. Yeah, this is your wake-up call. Go in search of the life that aligns with your purpose. Would you accept this call to adventure? There's something that you're clearly being called to, whether it's a new career, a new relationship, a relationship, expanding your relationship, moving somewhere new, pursuing some sort of lifestyle, pursuing some sort of learning or course, where you, because of your past, like Spirit's acknowledging, they understand you've been through rough times, so they completely understand and acknowledge that you are very hesitant to part with your pentacles, or part with any sort of your energy. This could be like people being draining on you, relationships being draining, and you're like, I just can't give. It depends what world it's in, right? But there's something where Spirit's acknowledging, listen, there's balance here. The scales have been balanced. You can do this in a way where it's going to be equal give and take, where it's not just you giving, where you're not going to be completely drained of your resources. There's something here that you can do both. This even may be about your time. Like you may be like, I'm a working, parent, but I really want to do the schooling. And And Spirit's like, okay, Two of Pentacles, you can do this. You can balance these two things. Like just like the waves of the ocean behind this unicorn are balancing both ships. The universe can hold the energy. You can hold the energy of more than one interest or responsibility or passion. You're probably like, more than one. I have 30, right? But it's like you can find ways. It will bob and weave. It will zig and zag. Something else will lessen. Those scales will balance so that you can do more. Maybe your partner says, hey, I'll take over the chores then. Or one of your kids steps up and says, hey, I can cook dinner that night. Like I'm, old enough now to be able to do that so that you can be studying. Or a friend says, hey, I'll drive you there so that blah, 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 blah. It's less gas, so that we can save that money. And you're like, wow, this actually kind of just really balanced out. Like I didn't see how this could work, but I can see how if I just take that one step, like it says, one step at a time on this staircase, and see how the swords are sheathed in the clouds. The swords are put down. That could be a lot of mental conflict that you're having about things. A lot of, I don't know if I can, reasons why you don't think you can, standing in your own way. But there's these sunflowers here. There's a rainbow. There's the void moon. There's endless possibilities here. There's Seven of Cups. There's so many things that you could choose. Yes, you can't know. You can't know the outcome of every single cup that you invest in, right? But you can trust your passion. You can trust your heart. You can trust your intuition. I would not pursue something that feels stagnant or stale to you. That wouldn't be where I would put my time, energy, or money. But something that feels intriguing, creative, enticing, exciting, lifts you up, lights you up, anything that feels like interest, that's the truth of your soul, which means that's the path to go to. So that's where I would look at investing some of my energy, time, money, love, in order to receive that back from the universe, whatever it is, emotional fulfillment, interest, excitement, more income, more love, whatever it is. There's something here that Spirit's saying, allow yourself to step into this. It's going to open up a whole new world for you. You're going to come alive. It's going to allow fresh energy to flow in and through you, into your world, into your life. You're going to wake up feeling different. It's not going to be so Groundhog Day. You're going to be like, I kind of have a little zest in my step today because I really can't wait to get on the computer and explore this topic or start this project that I'm thinking, or this hobby, or call that person or text that person or meet up with that friend, or I've got plans this weekend. Isn't it wild how you could have your whole week planned? You've got work or responsibilities, kids, whatever, partner, house chores. Having that one thing, that one interest, maybe on a weekend or a night where you're like, I'm going to go thrifting, or I'm going to go grab ice cream, or I'm going to go try that new pizza place and get a slice. The smallest thing, even if it's a $2 investment, like it doesn't have to be a lot of money. Going to get a fry at like some roadside, stop that you saw, or trying a new coffee shop, or $4 coffee, or it doesn't have to spend money at all. You could be going, try a different park, take a different route to work, calling a friend and catching up. These little things, even cleaning out a closet, remixing your clothes, trying a different wardrobe, trying different hairstyles, painting, expressing yourself, writing poems, sitting down to try to write a little creative, novella or something, just to try your hand at it. Whatever your soul is calling for you to do, Spirit's saying, allow yourself to expend and release some energy or investment of your time, focus, money, love, whatever it is, because the universe will give back to you that in satisfaction, interest, passion, and expansion of your life. And free flowing energy, one step at a time, one new interest at a time, will flow through this, and it will restore. You will reclaim your vital life force, that feeling of being alive, of being happy, of feeling like you're soaring over your life like an eagle, like I could do anything. I feel invincible. Every day is new. Every day is an adventure. And your self-confidence will come back, because the more that you allow yourself to pursue these things and try these things, the more you learn about yourself. Oh, wow, I handled that pretty well. Oh, wow, I navigated that. I went downtown and I found parking and I figured it out. I went here and I signed up for that and they accepted me and I figured it out and I showed up and I made a friend. Like, that's how you develop that knowledge and that strength and that confidence in yourself, is by allowing yourself to pursue things and try your hand at it and learn and grow and express and be in situations where you're you. Look at this. The jaguar coming up here with success. There's a parrot and a jaguar. Whatever this is, it's going to be positive and successful. If you're starting a new career, if you're going to school for something, if you're trying to start dating, if there's just whatever it is, I feel like there's something that you're just unsure if you want to invest in, if you can manage the time, if you can balance it, if it's going to be beneficial for you, and you pulled the success card. It will be. Whatever this thing is on your mind, it's absolutely worth it, Spirit's saying. That's why they wanted you to come to this reading. It will change your life in ways you didn't expect. Okay, and you got the diligence card. So the diligence is so hand in hand with balance, right? This is saying, listen, you have learned a lot, and you're not going to just throw out everything that you've learned. You've got routines, you've got discernment, you've got wisdom that you've developed over the years. This isn't like go whole hog. This isn't like just start dating and then all of a sudden you lose yourself, you start overgiving, and your entire self-care routine is thrown out the window. No, still be diligent, do things step by step, make sure that you have your desires at top of mind, your vision for this thing, so that it doesn't get too muddied in someone else's whatever preferences and stuff, and you don't get over influenced by someone else's energy. You're still going to do the things, you're still going to take care of your household and make sure that you've got savings away, and make sure that you're pay your bills. Keep everything in balance, but you can have success at this by working steadily towards your passions and your goals, and trying a little bit of something every day. You've got 7 cups here. So you try the first one and it's full of treasure, it's full of jewels, and you're all hyped up. And then you try the next cup and it's, got an undesirable snake in it. Then, okay, no thank you to that. Then you're going to pull your energy back of that. That's that balance and discernment. A little bit here, oh, okay, and not there. Like it doesn't have to be that you invest in every 7 cup. Every 7th cup, all 7 cups. It can just be that you take a peek, and then if something's not for you, you try something in your business. If it doesn't work, you stop it there. You try something else. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. That's what Spirit's saying. Nothing has to be all or nothing. It can be completely in balance, fair, in harmony with the life that you've already created. It can be a gentle exploration of things, one step at a time. It doesn't have to be something that pulls you off your game, something that pulls you off your stability. You can, see this 2 of Pentacles. The unicorn is up on its hind legs, but look at the pentacles are still balanced. So it's like you can be the fullest expression of yourself. You can do this. I'm seeing school for a lot of you guys where you're like, I'm already working, I'm already a parent, but I wanted to take this course, and you're just concerned, like, is this something that I can keep into balance? Is this going to give me back what I put in financially and energy and time? It's showing yes. It's showing that it will be an adventure, whatever that is for you. There's something here that your spirit is calling you to reclaim, some sort of power or pursuit that would light you up, and you have a serious concern about maintaining balance and if it's worth the investment. And the energy in this reading, if you're resonating, is showing yes. Yes. Be diligent. Take it one step at a time. Don't overgive, don't overinvest, don't overdo, but do a little bit, maybe a couple hours a day, a couple hours a week, whatever it is that works into your schedule, where you're able to give a little and then receive a little, and keep yourself in that beautiful harmony. And the universe will help you. When you start to feel depleted, then okay, I'm giving too much to this and not enough to myself, or I'm taking, I'm holding too much back and not giving enough to interest. Life is literally all about finding and maintaining this balance. And sometimes we think the answer to maintaining our balance is to just not put our foot in the race, right? Not to take a step up the step. But what's actually the way that you find your balance is to try things, try your hand at things, and see how far you can go, and observe, remain diligent, and have awareness. How far can I go into this relationship and maintain my balance? How far can I go into a hobby and still maintain my household and my relationships? And you learn. assess, take it step by step. Okay, week 1, how did it go? This is how many hours I worked on it, and I'm feeling I'm lacking a little bit of sleep and I didn't eat so well. So let me take stock and fix those things for next week. Maybe I do a little bit less. Maybe I get to bed a little bit earlier. Make sure I'm not staying up at night thinking about this. I got to, close that mental door when my head hits the pillow, and I can pick it up again the next day, because there's something really positive and abundant and special here that would bring back your joie de vivre, like that joy for life, that like feeling of zest for life again, if you just allow yourself to partake a little bit in it. Here is the message from Spirit. Really cool reading. I can't believe you got so much balance cards and reciprocal energy cards. Is absolutely magical how aligned that was. All the best with this. This sounds very interesting, whatever you've got going on. I wish you all of the luck in the world and success on it. And that is the conclusion of your reading for today. If any of the other piles call to you, I will see you there shortly. And if not, I'll see you in another reading on another day. Bye. Hello, Group 4s, and welcome to your reading. You have this whale card. It says deep emotional wisdom is available when you listen inwards, and you have that beautiful blue lace agate crystal. So we're finding out, why were you meant to find this reading today? Why has Spirit put this video on your path? What are you meant to hear right now? So first, let's get a general theme for this reading for Group 4, Spirit teams of Group 4s. What are they meant to hear right now? What would most help them on their path or whatever they're going through? For Group 4s, please. You got the Wilding and Strength. Okay, so these are the two cards that first came out. The Wilding is the 2 swords crossed here. And of course the Strength card. Something calling on you to excuse me, utilize your inner strength. Now the Wilding is about going back to kind of like the roots of you at your wild, like your true nature, your inner, kind of like, I want to say rebel, but it's not that you're rebelling against anything. It's just that not reformed, not refined, not constrained, not, like told to be a certain way or acting some certain role or masking. It's at your true heart, the clarity of who you really are. That's that Wilding energy. Please give us more for Group 4, and then we'll grab your tarot. I'm seeing these two. Oh, you got the crossroads. See, that makes a lot of sense, because I said you got these swords crossed, right? Which can be the sign of crossroads. And you also got the crown, card 52. So we're going to read those, but first we're going to get your tarot in here. 52 could be a meaningful number, I just heard. Now, I'm terrible at Roman numerals. I didn't even know there were Roman numerals in this deck. I thought they were all numbers. This is X and a V. Is that 15? I don't know why there's Roman numerals in there, because I thought they were all numbered. Interesting. On the card it says 13, but then on the card here it's showing an X and a V. Is that 13? I don't know if that's a typo or if that's just meaningful for someone, but now that we're here, we're going to read it. It says, moment of choices. The right path is the one you choose. When you make a decision, it's easy to become overwhelmed, regardless of how big or small the decision is. Fear can be life-stopping, but you need to understand trying to make the right choice all the time and avoid all suffering is impossible. Any path you choose will have joy, and it will have struggles. This is what makes life. The only thing you can do is choose a path and make the best of it by committing to it. Get past the fear, make choices without trying to have full control of the outcome. Instead, commit and set your intention to make the best of whatever situation comes your way. Whatever you do, do it fully, consciously, passionately. Know that dreams, projects, and relationships all need constancy and dedication. So don't abandon them at the first sign of struggle. Don't almost try, almost love, and almost live. Give yourself entirely to the moment or the person that's in front of you and don't dwell in the would haves. They'll clutter your vision, keeping you from fully enjoying your present, then that rather than leading to a life of regrets. Trust whatever unfolds from this decision is exactly what your heart needs to learn at that moment, and whatever path you didn't choose wasn't meant for you anyway. If you're in balance with crossroads energy, you're feeling confident when making decisions, you're seeing the opportunities, you're being committed and dedicated. If you're out of balance, you might be fearing making decisions, be frozen by fear, regretting, or fearing commitment. Okay. While we're here, let's read the crown, because I got tarot first for everybody else, but that Roman numeral thing stumped me so hard that I got we got into the book, so there must be a reason for that. This is a sign of success and achievement. Make sure your intentions and expectations align with the goodness of your heart. This golden crown being presented to you is a sign of success coming your way, and you deserve it. But to be ready to receive it, you need to find out, what does success mean to you? Success means different things for each person, and sometimes we get lost trying to achieve too many things and never feel fulfilled. You can end up in a rat race of hoarding things, achieving titles without knowing where you were going in the first place. Or you can end up trying to please everyone but yourself. No matter how much you climb, it may never be enough, and you spend your entire life chasing something you already had. To receive the blessings that are coming and that you deserve, make sure you ask for what you need in alignment with your heart. Now that's this wilding energy. Not based on expectations that society imposes on you. If you're in balance, you're succeeding, you're acting with your own authority and autonomy, you're feeling powerful, and you're achieving your dreams. If you're out of balance, you may be feeling empty or fulfilled, feeling unsuccessful, or feeling unworthy. Okay. This is very clear. Deep emotional wisdom is available when you listen inward, here with the whale. Crossroads energy, wilding energy, calling on the strength to maybe go against the expectations of you. There's something here that you're knowing deep within your soul, in your emotional body, in your physical body, you're meant to move towards. But you feel at a crossroads because the decision is stay in comfort zone or follow my own heart, which is a little bit unknown. Maybe the crossroads is maybe continue to fulfill others' expectations, obligations, or projections of me, or step out and move back to my freeness, my wildness, my trueness, my authenticity, and maybe disappoint people, maybe have people ridicule me, maybe people have people pointing at me and saying, what are you doing? Are you like, have you lost the plot? You're going to give up this for that? It's something here that you're like, but that's not success to me. Success to me would be pursuing this. And so I have to follow what that crown would feel like to me, even if it looks like a paper cardboard box to you. That's like, kids play with a cardboard box, and to them, that's the best gift ever. I think some animals do that too, like pups and that, and cats. That's what Spirit's showing me. Someone would be like, are you crazy? I just gave you this $500, toy, and you're playing with the paper box that it came in, the cardboard box that it came in, and that's that wilding energy. You're like, that's what I feel to do. I'm making a fort, I'm making a boat, I'm exploring, I'm playing, I'm having a blast. There's something in your life that's a metaphor for, where you're like, with this I have a blast, with this job, this career, this passion, this person, this living situation, this lifestyle, and everyone else is like, are you crazy? You're going to sell your, home, your mansion, and go do van life? Or what's wrong with you? You're going to give up this prestige, this job, this acclaim, this title in order to go make, figurines of frogs and mushrooms. I'm seeing that for some reason, like clay figurines. And you're like, yeah, I am. Because my idea of success is waking up, looking out my window, and sitting down and tinkering away with this. Or my idea of success is getting in my van and driving around and exploring, not going back to my, sterile condo every night. I'm just giving an example because condos can be lovely places too. I've lived in many a condo that I've loved. I'm just giving you the feeling that there's something here that Spirit's like, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're right on, like, you're right about you're getting this. You're being projected this because that's something that lights you up. That's what your soul came here for. This is a lifestyle or a role or a passion or a type of relationship or a job or something that it just suits you to a T, but it means that not everybody's going to understand it, and it means you may have to take a right turn. You may have to exit stage left of some other projected expectation or societal conditioning or just a role that you found yourself in. Sometimes we just find ourselves in jobs because it's the first one we took, or relationships because it's the first person who asked us out, or marriages because it's the first time we were proposed to, and then we get halfway down the path and we're like, well, wait a second. I don't quite think I like this. There is nothing wrong with that. You are allowed, it's your prerogative to change your mind, to expand, to identify things that suit you and don't suit you, your preferences. That's how we explore. That's like saying you order a meal and you have to eat that for the rest of your life because you ordered it once. Well, how are you supposed to know if you didn't try it, if you didn't try to take that course or try to work at that job or date this person, And if you get into it and you realize it doesn't suit you and you identify another preference, then you're allowed to pursue what serves you. You can do it in a way of integrity, absolutely. Doesn't need to be harmful to others, right? Show us more for group 4's energy. This one came right out in my hand. Oh, the 5 of Pentacles in reverse. We will certainly take that in reverse. So some sort of like loss, or let me just show you that. So the 5 of Pentacles upright is some sort of loss or disappointment, or like the cups weren't filled, or hard times, or restraint financially, or even emotionally, right? Depending on what the rating is in. You got it in reverse. So something that you did feel restrained or kind of was disappointing energy is not. Something's becoming fulfilling or satisfying. I think maybe something that you're pursuing feels maybe five of Pentacles, unsatisfying or disappointing, but moving towards whatever your version of success is with this will switch the energy into reverse, which means it becomes not restraining, it becomes free, it becomes expansive, it becomes more than enough. Show us more, please, for group 4. Yeah, instead of feeling left out in the cold, you feel welcome in by the fire. Instead of feeling like you're suffering through something, you feel cozy and safe and secure and warm and happy. 6 of Swords. Okay, yeah, so you're moving on from something. I feel like there was a difficult time. Something maybe that's toxic, or maybe that's like emotionally disruptive or draining, something that you keep just kind of trying to do. This could be like a workplace that you're just like, I am trying and I've got to let this go and just move on from this and just accept that this is not for me. It could be just a career path, a schooling that you took, some sort of lifestyle that you've been trying to do that you're just like, this is just not for me. It's too much burden. It's too disappointing. It's not satisfying. This is not about overcoming a challenge. This is about realizing that something is not for you and you're cycling in it and you're circling in it. And the universe is like, if something is in your face telling you, no, 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 there's no harmony, there's no alignment, there's no passion, there's no desire. Now, you have to be able to make that discernment, because sometimes things are difficult because they matter a lot to us. And there is a way to change your perspective. There is a way to make it satisfying again. So this could be a perspective change. This could be letting something go and just saying it's not worth it. I want to make this work with you. Let's just let this, toxicity and hostility go. And redefine what success means for us. That it could be something like that, or it could be you saying like, I've tried, and I just know I'm not meant to be here. I know I'm not meant to be here. I know in my soul this is not where I'm meant to be long term, and so I'm moving on to brighter pastures. I'm going to allow myself to heal from this, and I'm going to start a fresh chapter. Show us more for group 4. A lot wanting to come out here for you. Okay, this one's in my hand here. 5 of Swords. You had the 5 of Pentacles and the 5 of Swords, and now the 6 of Swords. Yeah, 5 of Swords. Something's been like combative or challenging or disappointing or just hostile. Just a lot of pushback, I would say, a lot of conflict, a lot of just debate maybe, or competitive energy in something, and I see you just being like, this, nothing about this is satisfying, nothing about this is, I want something that's emotionally satisfying, I want something that doesn't feel disappointing, I'm going to just move through this energy and choose something that does align with my version of success. And there's something emotionally a component here, because you may have been very logically following this path, right? But then with this whale, deep emotional wisdom is available. There's something that your heart, your gut, your body is telling you, your emotions, energy in motion. There's something that's saying, that's speaking to you. It could be that you realize maybe you're in a very competitive work environment or business, and you're like, this isn't for me. I don't like competitive environments, right? It could be that, where you're like, I want something that feels more free and more satisfying and not so difficult and challenging. Give us more clarity here for group 4. Knight of Pentacles. Okay. So the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight. Usually knights are rushing in. The Knight of Pentacles is steadfast, trustworthy, hard working. This energy puts in the time, puts in the effort, puts in the energy, and waits for the reward. This is an energy that is not fleeting. It's not someone or something, or a role or a job or a relationship that's going to come in and then disappear or be, temporarily satisfying. There's something here that if you put your pentacles in this, if you put your investment in this, it's going to be slow, steady reward. We need lots more information. Can you give us, please, more for group 4? More specifics here, please, for group 4. Oh, okay. They want to get a little more tarot. That happened in group 3 too. Okay, can you show us the advice here? What's the guidance and the advice for, because it's very clear what the situation is. Temperance, okay. You could be from group 3. Okay, temperance makes sense for the Knight of Pentacles. That's balance. Give a little, take a little. Keep yourself in balance. I'll make sure it's, the energy will be fair and equal. And this one, the 8 of Swords. Ah, I see. So the 8 of Swords is appearing to be trapped or appearing to be bound, but it's really just your perspective, because the horse can untie, the unicorn here, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say horse. This unicorn can untie itself. It could take the blindfold off. It's just very loosely bound here, right? It could take a sword, or it could put its leg up against the sword even and release the ties on its legs. 8 of Swords, you're feeling like you're trapped or bound or restrained by something, but there's a very simple way out to release your emotional anxiety or to release your feeling of being trapped about this. Let's get a little bit more. I feel like you're just like letting something go with the 6 of Swords. I feel like you're just like, I want to put my sword. You have so many swords. 8 of Swords, 5 of Swords, 6 of Swords. But here, see, in the 5 of Swords, the swords, 3 swords are on the ground. It's like, I just want to put this down. I put this weight down, put this conflict, this fight, this competition, this hostility. I just want to move out of it. I just want to walk away from it. I want to invest my energy somewhere that's more reciprocative. Oh my God. No, it's reciprocated. But that's the choice you can make. See, because even on the wilding, you have the swords. It's almost like it's not your natural state. Like maybe you're in a like I said, I see like with a job for someone, when I see it being like heavy competition, like sales, or like internal office politics, and everyone's like talking behind each other's back, and you're like, this is so not me. Like, I hate being here. You got this 8 of Swords. It's giving me anxiety. I feel trapped. I don't know which way to go. And then it's simple. It's simple. Move away from it. Either don't involve yourself in it, find something that's more satisfying, move to a different department, ask for a transfer, because your energy is very grounded and rooted and tempered and stable. You could have earth energy here. You're at a crossroads about this because your idea of success is not this. Same with a relationship. If there's someone who's just very dramatic or likes to bait you or is antagonizing, or like a family member and it's always drama, there's something where you're just like, I can just leave this behind. I can just say no thank you. I don't want to engage in that. I'm not going to feed it. I don't need to always pick up my sword and fight. I can just sit there and be like, okay, well, that, thank you for your opinion, and how are you doing? And just change the topic. Like, it depends what it is, right? Some people are very combative, and if you're going to interact with them at all, then sometimes that relationship is what people would call toxic and just best not to engage with. But there's some people who there's just that banter because you're bantering with them, right? And you can really easily change the subject or just approach it in a different way, in a way that's more in alignment with your heart. Or you exit stage left. If that situation is not for you, move towards something that is more grounded and stable. Knight of Pentacles, that is more steadfast, that is less air, swords, conflict, mental, energy. Because there's something here that could be fulfilling, that could release this constraint. Five of Pentacles, that feeling of being left out in the cold. You got it in reverse, and you got these two fives. So it's almost like, and with the crossroads, it's almost like you could just flip this on its head and it would feel free flowing. It would feel abundant. It would feel like more than enough. Okay, give us more guidance. What's the specific guidance that pile 4 should take for this situation? Because it's a little bit unclear. Oh, wow, you got a lot here. Okay, you got relaxation, stillness, and purification. Relaxation and stillness makes sense because you have the Knight of Pentacles. So, and you have this deep emotional wisdom is available when you listen inward. So it's quite possible that there's just something in this situation presenting the way that it's presenting because you're a little bit outside of your grounded, tempered energy. The situation is pulling you out of your stability. And I think that you could release this anxiety and conflict simply by choosing to not engage or moving away from it. Like I said, if you have a combative friend, maybe that's not the friend for you. Like maybe that person you just don't hang out with. If it's a work environment, maybe you stay away from those people or ask to transfer out or ask to switch off offices. If it's a home environment, maybe it's finding other things to do with your time and your energy than battling these people or engaging in it. It's rooting and grounding your energy and tempering it in stillness, relaxation. The biggest message coming through here strongly is you're recognizing something within yourself. Then we're going to get to this card, this crossroads and the wilding. You're recognizing something within yourself you're not aligned with. There's something that's challenging that you feel bound to, that feels hostile or you're not connecting with, that you feels like you can't get out, but you feel like it's not enough, it's lack, it's not quite right. But there is fulfillment available there in some aspect if you simply can find another way to approach this and let go of the person, places, things, habits that are not serving you. There's like another way for this to be fulfilling, for this restraints to come off of this. And it's returning to your own groundedness, your own sense of peace about it, your stillness, your meditation, because there's a different way that you view success, I'm seeing. And there's a way for this to feel successful to you that maybe others wouldn't say that it is, but it has to do with your energy being grounded and stable and tempered. Maybe you have like a hostile individual where your energy's too scattered and you're just literally letting them push your buttons. And when you find that you meditate daily, you center yourself, you go into interactions feeling unhookable, untouchable, invincible, and you're just kind of radiating love and peace and temperance, and you don't engage and you don't take the bait, and you kind of just say yeah, and how was your day, and you kind of shift the conversation where you're able to, you may find that to be extraordinarily transformative and powerful for this person's energy. You're holding your frequency can be extraordinarily transformative to energy, right? I'm not saying like that's if you have to be in a situation. I think take the path of least resistance. If you don't have to be upfront to that situation, like you don't live with this person, and then I would remove my energy, right? If it's just a friendship or like a work environment you can, exit out of or something, or find something else better suited to you, I would not. But sometimes there's people that you have to be up close to, right? Like family and friends or partnerships where you're like, this is a temporary thing, or this is something that I can't move out of right away. If you ground down, take this energy out from the air, all these mental swords, all this conflict, all this hostility, you ground it down into the truth of who you are, your kindness, your compassion, your pull back into yourself. This person is reading a book in a hammock. Can you move away from the dynamic, from the situation, pull back into yourself, pull your energy into yourself, and not give it so much of your attention, or of your power. Like, don't empower it. There's a message here that going back into stillness would add some transformation here, because see, the strength card, this tree has deep roots. So it's strong and it's rooted, just like the Knight of Pentacles, strong and rooted, very earthy, very grounded. It's not going to let itself get all chaotic and, reactive and bending and flipping in the wind to someone else's comments or influence. It's just going to know its grounded, rooted truth. And it's going to return to that, and it's going to stay in that. It's going to stay in that stillness. A tree is very still. And there's something here about you holding that internal strength, either in a decision that you're going to make, a crossroad decision, like I said, like a lifestyle change. If people are pointing at you and saying you shouldn't do that, hold your position, hold your strength. Move away from this energy, move towards your idea of success, because it's going to bring you this feeling of inner peace, this feeling of relaxation, this feeling of sovereignty, autonomy. Like you're not touchable. Just because someone else is in a mood, it doesn't have to affect your mood. Just because your work environment is chaotic doesn't have to affect your performance and your sense of satisfaction. Put in your headphones, put your head down, find your satisfaction where you find it, right? Or start looking for other jobs. There's something here about not letting all of this conflict create inner conflict in you anymore. Not letting this, it's like you're so in your own bubble of sovereignty, rooted groundedness, that all of this air energy and conflict over here it literally can't touch you. It's just like the storm around the tree, but the tree is rooted and stable. And when the storm passes, the tree is still there, untouched. It doesn't allow it to be affected by its environment and the elements. Now, you have this purification card with the sunflower, where this rain is falling here. I feel like there is a message here to cleanse, assess, meditate on this, see what is kind of been pulling on your energy and maybe pulling you away from your true, authentic self. Do some sort of cleansing rituals if you need to. But also intentionally purify and cleanse your routines, your day, your space. Identify, okay, this is where I'm draining energy. This is where I'm getting caught in this conflict. This is where it's causing me anxiety. And start to purify and limit your exposure and interaction to those things if you can. The more you ground down, the less frequently you'll interact with and align with those things via the law of attraction. You'll just zig and zag around anything that doesn't match your frequency. If you're stable and rooted, things that are not stable and rooted can't find you. That means you'll go to the coffee shop or to the coffee bar or to the water cooler at the same time that those toxic coworkers are not. Or if you're in a household where there's someone who's in a bad mood, when they're in a bad mood, you guys are not going to coincide in the same room. They might just say nothing because they can almost feel the energy radiating off of you, that it's not going to fly, it's not going to mesh. That's the overall message here. But let's get you a final card here for group 4. Oh, transformation. Okay, that's beautiful. The butterfly. So this, I do feel that there is an energy, a possibility. There's 2 possibilities. There is an energy that this situation can be transformed by your energy shifting, by you moving out of the 8 of Swords, of that mental conflict, removing your own chains, your own binds, by realizing that you are free, that you can choose your own thoughts, that you can choose your own energy and what you interact with, and you can choose your own path. There is something that the energy could transform within the situation if it's something that you can't leave, or you could completely choose a different path because you have the crossroads and just say, I need this situation to be transformed, whether it's your life, your job, your relationships, your lifestyle. I have the ability to free myself from this. This is not satisfying for me. This is full of conflict and hostility and pain for me. I want something that's less restrictive, that's more free, that's more fulfilling. I'm going to move on from this. I know exactly where I want to be. I'm going to root myself down. I'm going to move into a state of inner peace. I'm going to call on my inner strength to make this change, because my version of success is not this. My version of success is much simpler. It's much cleaner. It's much purer. It's much more innocent and returning to my own values and my own heart and my soul's calling me to express. And you could embark on a complete transformation with whatever this thing is in your life that Spirit has called you here to say. Let's take a look at if there's a way that you could release your own chains in this situation. You could completely remove this anxiety and this mental conflict for yourself by making these choices and choosing a different path and taking the road less traveled, quite possibly here, and bringing you to your own authentic version of success. Because I'm seeing that it will be highly transformative. It will also bring you a lot of inner peace. It will feel much more grounded and stable and much more you. There's something that's just too chaotic here that is not feeling like you. So either that situation can transform as you shift your perspective and focus, pull your energy back in, ground yourself, and focus on where you're radiating, your frequency, moving from your highest position, your highest timeline, and then everything else transforms around you, and then you can make that decision from there. Or you make some choices and some actionable steps that remove you from a situation, that you physically leave, move, give notice, end a relationship, end a friendship, something like this, that you literally, 6 of Swords, take a journey somewhere else and start fresh, start grounding yourself down to something that feels more balanced and more in tune and more in harmony with you. Really powerful reading. There's some big decisions here for you, so I'm sending you all the clarity and love that I can. Spirit's got your back. Ask for the angels and your spirit team to help guide you during this period of time to know which is best and what is best, when to act, when to move. Tune into all of your intuition for that, because the reading can only give you some guideposts. It can't give you the specific timing and things like that in a general reading like this. So all of that wisdom is within yourself. Don't forget, meditate, tune in, journal, and the path will become clear and revealed to you. Thank you so much for being here. All the best with this situation. If any other group called to you, then I will see you in that reading shortly. And if not, I'll see you in another reading on another day. Bye.